Namaste, angels. This is the client reading for kind of like a repeat client, somebody for whom I have read before, somebody for whom I have performed divine light cleanse before, not only for them, members of their family or other loved ones and stuff. So it is like my pleasure to read for her again. She actually ordered probably a couple of days before my dad passed away, and I was planning on doing it then, of course, and um, you know, did not. Subsequently, did not, and then we've just been going, and it's like 11:30 at night, and I've just decided like I got to get that reading done. So I'm coming here. My life is so busy. I'm having to like acknowledge it now. I guess I never really did before, like how much stuff I do all the time. But my life is so busy between my, we all have a personal life, between my personal life, my family life and stuff, my friends, that, and then on my on my clients. I mean, based on the, you wouldn't know it based from on the views, right? Not that many people getting to watch. I think that's, I just blame that on YouTube. It's not that people don't want to watch, because I have so many customers. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm very happy about it. I'm just talking about how busy I am. Um, yeah, it's a blessing actually. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm complaining about it. But I just have so many, and then I do a lot of community activism and stuff. Right now, I'm working on 100% affordability. I started and am part of a coalition that's fighting for 100% affordability in terms of housing, to varying degrees, like varying levels of affordability, spanning from deep affordability, low income, to, maybe middle or even upper middle, some for everybody. And we're doing that for, hopefully, for 9/11 survivors, first responders, seniors in like one of the last buildings that's going up in the World Trade Center, Tower 5. It's public land, they're using public money. And so it's important that members of the public that need, some place to live, get to move in there, and then we, try to do something about this housing crisis. So I say all that to say that's the stuff that I was doing prior, and then I said, oh my goodness, I have to do her reading. So here I am, and let's get into it. So from recollection, she is an Aries. I know that for sure. But I think he's a Pisces. I'm not positive. That's the recollection. We are starting with Major Arcana card Strength, which does represent fire. And speaking of Aries, Aries is ruled by Mars, which is currently located in Leo. So that may be why this is showing up. And we talked a lot about strength in the general reading this week, and maybe a little bit in the love reading too, about how strength is really tied to, or true strength is really tied to compassion and empathy and love, like being able to show it even when it's difficult, to express these things. And when the card shows up, in addition to that, it means that you have, it's a reminder, if you've forgotten, and it's confirmation, if you know already, that you have the ability to face any and everything that comes your way. Strength is one of these cards, and there's actually not all that many of them. But it's one of the few cards that no matter what area of your life it shows up in, and whether it's upright or in reverse, it's still like always a good card. The only thing that happens when it's in reverse is like, maybe you're not recognizing the amount of strength that you have. You're not giving it any sort of, you've forgotten completely. You're not using it. But it's never bad in love, in finances, and everything. So really nice that this is her beginning energy. And the next card is the Page of Cups, and this could be representative of the masculine in her life. Like I said, I believe he's a Pisces. I'm not positive, and this would be the Pisces card for me. It's the Page of Cups, and I usually attribute the pages, even though it's not done this way in traditional tarot practice. I usually attribute the pages to the mutable signs, because they are the most childlike and forever young and youthful looking and acting and all of that. So this could very well be him. It can also be representative of some sort of offer of love, or something that will put a smile on her face, a smile on his face, smile on both their faces. They could be receiving something, or maybe happy message, something. It's a good thing. Page of Cups, in addition to possibly being the Pisces, or Believe, I think, again, possible Pisces masculine. It's also, potentially connected to a Cancer or a Scorpio or someone like into those traits or attributes. The next card would be like her energy, even though it is a male in the card, and maybe most representative of a masculine energy. And in traditional tarot practice, actually, the King of Wands is most directly a Sagittarius, and again, she's in Aries. This is still her energy too, as an Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and all those likened to those traits or attributes that are not even fire signs as well. And how beautiful is this? So we saw both of their energies, right? Or at least what I believe to be, and then the Two of Cups. What a way to start. I love the way this reading has begun. I'm just going to throw these in a minute we're going to shuffle these. I don't want to put them, did I put that upside? I don't know. I lost it. I don't want to put them upside down if they weren't. And I seem to have done that with all these. Oh, and now there's the Lovers too. I just threw the Strength card on top of the Lovers. She might have some Gemini in her also, based on a conversation we've had. I don't know. I think so. I mean, it would have been a long time ago, like a conversation in passing, but it just popped into my head. I believe that was her. Anyway, the Lovers does represent the sign of Gemini, as does the card that's immediately behind it. Major Arcana card 1, the Magician. Magician also means that you, again, have the ability to face any and everything that comes your way, and to, the wherewithal to make any and all of your dreams come true. From the numerology deck, we have card number 9 and completion. So some sort of cycle or something in your life coming to an end, which is always good, because after that, we start over, right? 0, 1. So something coming to an end. You've completed whatever that cycle is, and we begin with another one. And you have another 9 here that we're about to start with. It is the 9 of Cups, which is also another really awesome card to have. Now's the time your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. 9 of Cups is about reaching your goals. It is about, like dream and wish fulfillment. Dreams, coming true, wishes coming true, wishes being granted, prayers being answered, you successfully manifesting something, you meeting the mark, reaching some sort of goal that you set for yourself. So really awesome. Behind that, however, is the 4 of Cups, which can be about, pessimism, missing out on opportunity because you just don't think enough of it to even try, that sort of thing. Your responsibilities, or maybe you're too busy, so you don't get to it. Your responsibilities may distract you from noticing all the gifts that God is presenting to you. Be open to investigating opportunities that come your way. And maybe that was why I was meant to go into that little rant about being busy, because, that was kind of random for somebody's client reading, but you may be going through something similar, and then, again, missing out on things because you're so busy in your life. So it might be time to take some sort of pause, and I probably need to listen to my own advice too. The next card is also upright. It's the 8 of Pentacles. It's the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, or conducting research. Do your best work, and the law of attraction will bring you prosperity and career advancement. Then we have another 4. So you just had the 4 of Cups, and I got the 4 of Pentacles. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building up walls that keep people out. When the 4 of Pentacles shows up for me, there tends to be something in our earthly life that we, need or want to get rid of, and we've probably been holding on to it because it's comfortable, it works. Like, for example, I got to take my own advice. I have too much damn cable, between the cable and the streaming services and stuff, and I need to really cut some stuff off, and it's costing me not to, but I haven't yet. Why? Because it's just easy. It's on. I don't have to do, to cut it off means to call. So, of course, it can be a more serious situation than cable. It can be, you're at a job that you don't like, or maybe you like the company, but you're in a position you don't like. There's some sort of living condition or situation that you don't like, that you could change, but it's like, you're comfortable or the devil is involved. You don't want to get involved with some other stranger, and so we avoid things. All right. The next card is also upright. It's the Five of Wands. This card, speaking of work, can be about competition at work, or like one, like you as in yourself, one being conflicted about something. And when it's not either of those, then it tends to be some sort of conflict with close friends and or family members. Occasionally, you may experience clashes with others. If you decide that the matter is worth your energy, then do what you can to minimize the conflict without sacrificing your goals or beliefs. When I say family members, that includes sometimes like if we have children, which I know you do, our child's other parent, for example, if they're acting up, or their family and different things like that. To those, I consider those people family members. The next card is the High Priestess. So if you do have a situation to handle, you'll figure out how, right? You're getting messages as to how. High Priestess, more Gemini energy, also can be attached to water signs in the tarot too. Listen to your intuition. Have patience and consider carefully what you want before acting. And this last one, I think, that is upright, yes, it is the last one that's upright, is the Three of Wands. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. So Three of Wands represents you, again, successfully manifesting, but it's not quite, even though we have completion here, something is not quite over. Something's not quite finished being manifested, but soon enough. So you can start planning now for when it is, when we do have this money, when we do have this car, when I do have that job, when we do live in this place, whatever your situation is, you're planning ahead so that you're ready when that Three of Wands becomes a Four of Wands. Threes can always require patience. If you pull a three in any suit, they tend to be about good things, but threes can mean that you need to wait. Also about like collaboration with other people. Could be some sort of group project, group effort. Requires more than just you working on something. Other people got to do their part. And that brings us to an overall energy for you. Major Arcana card 18, the Moon. Out of this deck, it's important to trust your intuition, even if you're unsure of what's happening. All will be revealed soon, so worry is unnecessary. So we just ended on a card, the High Priestess, that said that you need to trust your intuition, even if you don't, necessarily know why. And now we're getting another card like that. And this card, Major Arcana card 18, does represent the planet Neptune in the sign of Pisces in the tarot. So again, I think that may be right. And he's the Lovers again. Now, what's interesting about Pisces is that, and Neptune, is that it represents like our deepest, or highest love, like our true feelings. So for that to be attached here with the Lovers, for me, just means, like you got something in your relationship, you got something really, really special. It's a really, really, like legitimate, genuine connection, real deal stuff. We're going to start out with you, but I think I want to do, pull some cards on each of you separately. In addition to what we look at on your union or connection as a whole. I'll just push these back here for now. Oh, I didn't shuffle yet. I'm sorry. There's another Five of Wands. So some sort of competition again, or conflict happening. And with that Ten of Swords, somebody may have just really rubbed you the wrong way, to say the least. But your overall energy here is Major Arcana card, the Star in reverse. The Star representative of the sign of Aquarius. And more prayers being answered, wishes being granted, and dreams coming true. In reverse, it's not as strong as it is when it's upright, but something that you've been working on that, still should make you happy. Probably coming in very, very soon. And then here's another indication that it should be something that makes you happy. The Knight of Cups. For me, Knights are action cards. And so, there may be something that you need to do in order to really fully receive this thing, but it's very positive. Can possibly be connected to a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And then we have the High Priestess yet again as well. And Major Arcana card 2 represents the sign of Gemini most directly. Can also represent water signs in the tarot. Is about using your intuition, being very, very feminine and just attractive, and attracting everything that you need and want, and some of what you don't, especially in terms of, can be in terms of people too that are attracted to you. With the High Priestess, it's such a strong energy. We get the stuff and people that we want, and some of the attraction that we don't want, and it's not always easy to discern which is which. Is the only negative thing I'll say about the High Priestess. So the card that this will be for you, most directly representing you at the time, is the Three of Wands in reverse. And your surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers, or something going on at your job, probably has to do with your mate though, is the Two of Wands upright. Two of Wands, of course, is the twin flame or divine union card of the tarot. I said it was the real deal. I could tell that for sure. Work and finance. We have the Page of Wands in reverse. And love and relationship. That's interesting. We have the Five of Swords in reverse. Why do I think that doesn't have anything to do with your actual mate? It may have to do with an ex or something. Physical health. We have the Death card, something coming to an end or some sort of transition happening. We'll dive more deeper into that in a second. And spiritual health. We have the Five of Cups. This is a card of pessimism and doubt. Interesting. We're sort of all over the place with this energy. Manifesting, beautiful relationship, somebody that's a thorn in your side. All right, let's get deeper into it. I also just got that all the Gemini energy that we're seeing could be tied to Mercury retrograde. Of course, Mercury is one of Gemini's rulers, or Gemini's main ruler, and is it's currently located in Gemini and retrograde. It doesn't go direct until the 22nd, which is next week. So that could be also. And it's still possible that there's an ex involved that is maybe causing you at least some sort of emotional or mental anguish, and that could be brought on by Mercury retrograde too. It has a way of bringing people back, having them contact us, all kinds of things like that. We'll see what else comes into it. I don't want to hold up your reading, thinking about that or working on that, but I did want to share that I just got that. Did this go off? Sorry. If on my end, like the camera looked black for a second. You're probably like, what is she doing? Why is she saying anything? Again, I apologize. Anyway, we're going to go back to your reading now. and the overall energy, which is the star in reverse, again represents the sign of Aquarius. In its most general sense, this is still a positive omen, even though it's in reverse, and it can guide us to look really like hard at what it is we're trying to work our way through, what it is we're trying to manifest. If we feel like it's not happening quick enough, this could be because of Mercury retrograde also. It's guiding us to be more optimistic and hopeful. Also, it can show that we tend to be looking at like the darker side of situations when it shows up in reverse. So we are being more pessimistic than optimistic in things. And, it wants to sort of turn that around. But another very positive aspect of it can be that we find ourselves feeling, rather inspired despite all this other stuff. And, it can be about the calm after the storm. So if you have been experiencing some sort of stress or something, this is coming in to, sort of quell all of that for you. And even though it's in reverse, you should still be feeling more, eventually at least, in the near future, you should be feeling more hopeful about the future as you begin to realize, then again, it is the calm after the storm and that things are getting better. You should feel more confident that, your needs, whether these are financial or emotional or mental, or you need to lay down and get some rest. I'm sensing that too, like just working really hard and being sort of tired, needing like a break. You can find that you have good reason to be positive and optimistic about that too. Like your time is coming very soon, like a well-deserved, break, for lack of a better word. Future is bright. That's a good way to say it. So moving on to the Three of Wands reverse. Actually, the Three of Wands reverse can mean something very, very similar to that. It means that things are likely to be going much better than maybe they had been, and or that you would expect, in the near future. Again, you're being pessimistic, you're being doubtful, you're not really expecting them to be so great, and you'll find that things are going really well. And you may finally get a well-deserved rest or break from all your hard work. And you should allow yourself this time to recharge, if it comes your way. Also, the Three of Wands in reverse can be about like a wish coming true. And we've already seen, we have an overall energy of the star, which is again about wish fulfillment. And we started out with the other deck with an overall energy of the Nine of Cups, which is also about wish fulfillment. So this is like your third time. Maybe you're going to get 3 wishes, like from a genie. But, it can be about a wish coming true in like a really positive way. So not like what the genie was. Sometimes if you don't say the words right, you get something funky. This is a good thing. And you should still, though, even though that's not the case, you should still think carefully about what it is you really wish for and why. Because you're likely to find yourself with, some sort of sudden understanding coming to you about yourself, about other people, about the world, and or, find this thing coming to you. And you can, when you come into like new knowledge like that, you can trust it. So that may be why the High Priestess kept showing up also, right? Intuition very, very strong. The Moon, intuition very, very strong. You can trust these messages that you're going to find are coming in. So on that note, we're going to move over to the Two of Wands, which is also upright. And twos in any suit or element are about balance first and foremost, and then also partnership, of course. But it's important for you to like keep your balance in every way that you can, like even in things like that are boring, and that we'd rather not be bothered thinking about, like eating right, for example. It could be about balanced meals. It can be about getting enough rest. Like I said, I feel like you need to lay down and get some rest. So balance in that area too. And these things will be very helpful to you during this time if you find the opportunity to go ahead and take care of yourself in that way. Also, again, as I said, it's a card of partnership, and this can be business, personal, family, both. But then also on top of that, again, the Two of Wands is the Twin Flame of Divine Union card of the tarot. So may very well have something to do with your mate, but this is your surrounding energy, so it can have more than one meaning, and it can have to do with your mate, and it can also have to do with some other sort of partnership or collaboration or family member or something. So what it wants to remind us of is the give and take that's required for any and all successful relationships, and sort of like a warning, like if we're feeling out of balance in that area, then it wants us to know that things are about to get better. So it goes along with the other cards that we've been seeing for you so far. Things have been sort of again, maybe that was Mercury retrograde, or maybe for whatever reason, definitely getting better if they haven't started getting better already. And this can also apply to somebody around you. And so maybe you are the number two, you are the part of the collaboration. Somebody around you is experiencing these things, the out of balance, or it's in a relationship that you're a part of, or something like, with this placement, you can just sort of kind of be adjacent. You don't have to necessarily be directly involved or impacted, but you're involved and impacted because of somebody close to you, if not. So moving on to the work and finance, we have the Page of Wands in reverse, and this can show it's often a woman, an actual, a female. This is representative of feminine energy. Woman at work, maybe, or that somehow is impacting you in your work, causing you some sort of complications or difficulties at work because she's like indecisive and all over the place. It's possible that also that you can be like standing in your own way through your inability to make a decision. So you could be the Page of Wands too. Um, I'm pretty sure you have a job that you're happy with, but also one of the meanings is for those that are looking for work to like look all in a few places, like not put all your eggs in one basket, and it lets us know that decisions with regard to hiring, or I guess even like promotions or bonuses or things, maybe even the hours that you want, or the days that you want, if you're already employed, those answers, those decisions could be delayed, and maybe that's the difficulty and conflict that's happening there. That's possible too. So in terms of finances specifically, not necessarily tied to your work, again, things getting better, on an upswing, an uptick, or however you want to say it. Someone with financial like expertise, chops, background could come into your life and give you some sort of really good advice that helps you too. Or you could get some really good like financial news or something that you weren't necessarily expecting. And when the abundance comes, this is important. You got to consider what you can do to maybe share a little of it. Um, I don't want to say in order to keep the cycle going, like the sort of like the wheel of prosperity. We don't give stuff so that we can get more stuff, but that is a result. When we are generous with others, when we do give, to charity, we do continue to, be like recompensed ourselves too. Um, this doesn't sound right when you say that that's like the reason, and it's not the reason, but do it for that for that reason. Do it for that reason, because I don't know how else to put it. But yeah, the card guides you to figure out how you can be, somewhat charitable, or share some of your abundance, and that will keep abundance coming to you. So last but not least, in this top row here, we have the Five of Swords in reverse and the placement of love and relationship. And this can be about sacrificing our own happiness because of, so maybe it's to make somebody else feel good, or to do what we think is right, because mothers do this all the time. So this is how I can come up with a good example. We do it for our children. We do it, well, everything ultimately is for our children, but we may do it like for our jobs. We sacrifice ourselves, our love life, and all, our need for sleep and all that kind of stuff, because we want to, earn money and feed our kids. Again, like everything falls back to the kids. But like sacrificing your happiness for something can be what this Five of Swords is about, if it's not about some sort of conflict. So that's something that's in your control. If that's what's happening, then you need a break, which I've seen again and mentioned to you already. Then when you get that opportunity to take that break, you do. Because like when we don't take those breaks, when we get the opportunity, eventually, like, our bodies make us, you know, so it's better for us to do it in our own time rather than like for the universe or God or again your body to like force you down and say like no, like, well, now today you're not going to feel well and you're going to have to lay down, period, you know. Moving on to physical health and death. So you know, it's a nice segue because this card and this placement is about you keeping your own stress levels like manageable, you know, and it's really important. It's like a must right now to maintain good health, deal with any problems that come up, you know, and try not to avoid them. Also, again, getting enough rest as best as you can, not abusing your body in other ways, you know. So not like not that I think you do any of this stuff, but not like abusing things like alcohol or drugs or again eating too much, not eating enough. All of this is not good right now, you know. And it's about these things that are in your own control to take care of. Spiritual health and the Five of Cups. Can be about forgiveness and the need to forgive somebody. And it's interesting because is it still here? Yeah. Behind this completion card, I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if I had shuffled these or not. I did not yet. Behind it is forgiveness. It's in reverse, so I hadn't mentioned it, but I did like notice it. You know, I kind of focused in on it for a minute, and maybe that's why. So there could be somebody. Maybe that's this person. Again, this seems to be somebody seems to be perhaps getting under your skin or trying to compete with you or something. And they may need some sort of forgiveness from you. And here's the thing. You don't, I've said this many times, so you probably heard me say it already. But we don't forgive others for their sake, you know, or because they deserve it necessarily. We do it for our sake. And I know that sounds selfish. This is my second time saying something that's not coming out right. It's coming out like, you know, doing it like in a manipulative way. And I really don't mean that. But we do it for our own sake because holding on to anger and pain and, you know, the inability to forgive, negative emotions, regret, resentment, all these things, I'm always talking about them. That's bad for us. That, again, keeps our stress level up. That makes your pressure high. You know, meanwhile the other person is minding that, you know, they've gone off into the sunset. So if there's something, you know, like that, you know, that you're just angry with somebody and you're holding on to something, meanwhile, yeah, they're probably off somewhere having a good time. Now is the time for you to let go. Death is about letting go of something also. So I think these cards just really play off of each other very nicely. And again, it was a nice segue. That's what your Five of Cups is. So now I want to quickly shuffle these again for your mates. And I just saw that Ten of Swords again. So this person that needs forgiveness from you, you know, it can be like a real issue of betrayal. Like they may have really done something that was just not cool. My second time seeing the Page of Pentacles. Maybe they're an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Or they want to make you some sort of offer, or both. Three of Swords. So you're getting over it. Three of Swords in reverse, rather. Getting over it. Or you have gotten over it, but maybe haven't completely let it go yet. All right, moving on to your boyfriend. More earth. Maybe that earth is connected to him. Page of Pentacles first, and the Queen of Pentacles. Also, of course, perhaps a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Judgment in reverse is your overall energy for him. Okay, boyfriend. Let's get your cards in frame. Yeah, I like that. The one most directly representing him, it's more Earth. It is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Again, possibly involving a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. It could be him. I don't know what he has in his chart, or if I was correct, he's even a Pisces. Surrounding energy, we have the Queen of Swords in reverse. So right out of the gate, starting off with a few characters being part of this. Queen of Swords, possibly a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, or again, perhaps Mercury. We don't know. Work and finance for him. We have the Seven of Cups. He's got choices. He's got options. Love and relationship. Knight of Swords in reverse. Physical health. Four of Cups. Upright. And spiritual health. There's that Five of Wands again. In reverse. There's the Judgment. Is that in frame? I think it looks pretty good. So, yeah, let's get started with Judgment in reverse. Now, Judgment in reverse does represent, I was going to say a fellow water sign. I don't even know if he's a water sign, but it represents the sign of Scorpio, most directly in the planet Pluto. And that's potentially a tie to the Earth. I think Pluto, well, we don't want to get into all that. Never mind. Judgment in reverse. It can be about jumping to conclusions or making like rush decisions or judgments, just way too hasty. And if we're like prone to doing this, then it's definitely a signal to like chill, slow down and give things more thought, give people more chances. Can also be about a real time of like spiritual awakening and growth. And it doesn't mean necessarily that we need to like judge someone or judge something when it shows up. People like tend to think that. There's often a decision that's already been made actually that we're going to get, wind of somehow. We're going to get some sort of information, perhaps that we've been waiting for. And that's a nice segue to the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, because sometimes it can be about some sort of news or like a warning for us that we need to keep our focus on our work. If we're working for money, then there's something that we need to really pay attention to there. And it's like a time of adulting. Earth signs are really good at adulting. They're really like super grounded and committed and dedicated to their work and stuff. And so this is showing up here, in like the first placement of for me, it's like the placement of self in my little spread here. Then it's guiding you to be, sort of earth sign like. Also, it can be about feeling sort of like unexcited about, what's going on in your life right now. And, it guides you to like realize that the only person that can change that is you if you're feeling like that. So it could be a good time for you to learn something new or, to open up to some sort of change, which can be something earth signs are not necessarily great at. Just like not throwing the baby out with the bathwater is what it warns us about. So surrounding energy, we have this Queen of Swords in reverse. And this can be about an actual woman, female in your life that's not necessarily very nice. She really may not be a nice person. But she's somebody that we want to like stay on her good side. She's often like a mother or a mother-in-law in my experience. And she may, whether she is or not, a mother or mother-in-law, this is a separate point. She may, and not necessarily maliciously, sometimes it's without even realizing it or meaning to, block you from important things that you need to accomplish. So that could be happening to him, and or there could be somebody close to him to whom this is happening. And so, he's being impacted by the fact that he is, close to this person and cares about this person, and they're, dealing with this kind of energy. The person, this woman, may be an actual air sign, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. This card can also be about, if it's not about an actual woman, just like obstacles and stumbling blocks and things that, you know, most often they're created by other people. You know, it's like somebody else put something in our way. Like I said, the woman could be accidentally creating an obstacle or maliciously creating an obstacle. But sometimes it's about stuff that we're doing ourselves, like we're putting roadblocks in front of ourselves. So then it needs us to ask questions like, you know, am I behaving in a way that people are finding abrasive? Am I like shooting myself in the foot, you know, in different situations? And again, this would be somebody probably around him and not so much him, but it could be affecting a relationship that he has with that person or him in general because he's, you know, tied to this person, this energy. Let's say it's your roommate, right? And your roommate is constantly dealing with obstacles and can't move forward. Well, then that can be problematic for you, you know, if you got to come up with money together and all that kind of stuff, you know. So it's something like that. And, well, not necessarily something like that. I use that as an example to say how we can be impacted by something that's happened to somebody else around us. Moving on to work and finance. If there's some sort of like deal, business opportunity that somebody is trying to bring to him, and it seems like too good to be true, it probably is. This card is warning us to watch where we put our money and who we put our trust into as well. Particularly with work. If you work, or want to work for that matter, in some sort of creative field, then this is a really good time to get into that. What might be a creative field? I don't really have a creative bone in my body. My kids got all of it, but maybe music or some sort of visual art or something like that. Something where you make stuff or fix stuff or put stuff together. All those kinds of things. This is a really, really good time to get into that. And if you've already tried to begin to get into that field, you can be making really good progress right now. If you're not already, you will in the very near future. If your job, however, is more something that requires more like precision, like math or business, you know, something analytical, then this card brings like a warning that we may be spending too much time with our head in the clouds and not enough time like really focusing on those things that have to be, you know, so precise and perfect. Yeah, I think that's the way to say it. It can also be about, options and choices in terms of, you know, changing your life and maybe most specifically again, as it relates to getting into something creative versus what you might be involved in now. Love and relationship with the Knight of Swords in reverse. You know, in an ongoing committed relationship, this card shows up to say that something could be bothering our partner. And if we sense that, we should ask. And Pisces is a super intuitive sign. So he could very well sense that. I think it's interesting, to say the least, that it's the same element as your card in that placement, where I said something may be bothering you, somebody may be bothering you. That Five of Swords in reverse, and now he has the Knight of Swords in reverse, and he could be picking up on what you're going through. Maybe not exactly what's happening, but the fact that something is bothering you. And this card guides him to ask you about it or try to find out what it is and to help you through it. So, you know, with you being armed with that knowledge, you can open up if you're in that area, if you're not already. Health, Four of Cups. So if you are having some sort of physical health problem, when this card shows up, it guides us to remember that things don't always have to be the way they are right now. You know, my sister just came here, and I know my father passed away, and I know I've mentioned to you before that my sister has MS, and so she's always been like the type of person to not try the like the new drugs, the drug trials and all this kind of stuff. And like, for example, to the contrary, I have a cousin that had AIDS. I get it must be 30, 40 years ago now. It's a long time. I was young. I was a teenager, and I think early 20s at the most when I learned, and I just turned 50 last week. So on Sunday, not last week, a couple of days ago. My memory's going already now that I'm 50. No, but yeah, so it's been like 30 years and he's still around and ticking. Why? Because he used these drug trials and stuff. So my sister, again, to the contrary, has not been this kind of person. And so while she has, managed to stay out of like a wheelchair and all that kind of stuff like that, she does have like a walker now. But while she's managed to remain out of a wheelchair, for all these years that she's had MS, she could have been even better, if she had gotten into some of these drug trials. So we see people that have taken these drugs who are really successful. And I say all that to say, like, even if you have a serious medical condition, and you may feel like crap today because of that physical medical condition, you don't necessarily have to feel like things don't have to be the way they are right now forever. So maybe there is a medicine, maybe there is a trial, maybe there is a diet, maybe there is an exercise, maybe there is, some more rest that you can get, maybe there is a vacation, whatever that will make you feel better. And you should, take advantage of these things and try. Also, you may need to, reach out to like a friend or even get yourself like a counselor or therapist or something that can help you, in thinking through moving beyond where you are health-wise right now. I think that's all I want to say about that, or have to say about that. Moving on to spiritual health and the Five of Wands in reverse. This says that spiritual growth is not a competition. So if there's somebody that's close to you, around you, or maybe a few somebodies, and they seem to be growing faster or going slower than a different page, like we're all on our own individual path, is what this shows up to say. And people may try to convince you that you need to grow in a certain way or at a certain speed or, be into certain things or whatever. And what this card says is it wants you to know that spiritual growth can involve, dealing with and accepting different things, ideologies, belief systems, and rejecting some. And it's about just being more comfortable with yourself in it and where you feel like you're going, and what your belief systems are or aren't, or just figuring that whole thing out, like finding yourself. It's okay that you're not at the same speed as other people, or thinking about or doing the same things as other people, or practicing the same way or whatever. And I hope that made sense and was helpful to you. I had thought that I was going to also use some clarifiers, and I never did. So let's use these now. Let's give these a little shuffle first. This is the numerology deck. Look, the first one I opened to time out. Based on that spread just now, you might both need, a break in order to maintain your domestic harmony and your wits about you. Spiritual partnership. Spirituality. Nice cards. Coming up, we'll do one more. And it is individuality. Excuse me. parenting. Very nice. This can be about co-creation. It can be very literal. I feel like I did shuffle these already. And that's how we came up with this overall energy of the moon. So let's start with the next spread. Okay, not sure what my pills are doing there. Sorry about that. Divine Feminine. The masculine as it relates to the feminine, to himself, and the union or connection as a whole. I apologize, I put these in reverse. There are no reversals in this deck even. So overall, it's interesting that they're all from the same deck. You saw me cut in a bunch of piles, right? I'm pretty sure I did. What energy the masculine would have the feminine give to the union or connection if it were up to him. What he himself is willing to remove these. What the universe wants to help with. And the outcome. And again, the overall energy here is the moon. Then we have this other deck where we'll do the same thing. Divine Feminine. We have the Queen of Swords yet again. Independent experience, realistic and witty, objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you and seeing the humor in a situation. Now, this isn't necessarily the same Queen of Swords. This can be, because that was the Queen of Swords in reverse. This is, you know, again, there are no reversals in this deck. This one is upright. And so this one is like the queen of cutting out things that don't work in her life, that don't serve her anymore. She's super, you know, smart and independent, and she uses those things, you know, to her advantage. And so she can get things done for herself. And what is it partnered with? Self-discipline. So, you know, this is who you want to be if you're in this position where you need to become disciplined about some things. And this can apply to, since this is your card, it's the feminine. And this can apply to what I was saying, like finding time for yourself, getting in that rest if that's what you need to do, you know, finding balance in the areas that you need to. She can help you to do that. And speaking of balance, you know, she is known in the Tower world as the Feng Shui Queen. You know, that is somebody who puts things in the right place and in the right, you know, generating the right energy, everything in balance, everything in its place, all that kind of stuff. So again, this energy can really help you to do that. This is the masculine in relation to the feminine, and, you know, it tends to be directly connected to this energy, whatever it is here. And here it is. We have the Chariot for one thing, Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot, an important achievement, self-discipline. Okay, I said it tends to be connected to this card. This energy. Self-discipline. Self-discipline. Can you see that? Okay. The Chariot also about movement, moving, travel, modes of transportation. So it can be tied to, again, that break, vacation, getting away, even if it's just for a short time, going a short distance. It's also about victory, success, maybe in the area of self-discipline and individuality and focusing on self. You know, you both, masculine and feminine alike, got these orange cards that are about working on self or managing self. Oh. So very nice. Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot, most directly represents the sign of Cancer. Masculine as it relates to himself. This is his card. 5 of Cups. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped. Not seeing the positive in a situation and crying over spilled milk. He could have some concerns, not necessarily in his relationship with you, but in some, it could be with a family member, domestic harmonies. That doesn't necessarily mean just his romantic relationships. Could be other people he has lived with or does live with, or, you know, that he has like in his immediate cipher. Something just not going exactly how he wants. And maybe that's tied to that other Queen of Swords. Remember I said it could be a mother, a mother-in-law, like that type of person. Mother figure, somebody, a dominant female, like authority, family member, usually. The masculine on the union or connection as a whole. And, love. What better card can you get? And it's tied to the Knight of Wands, which is also one of the most perfect cards. The Knight of Wands for me is, like the Prince Charming of the deck. The one that comes and like picks you up. He doesn't even stop his horse. He comes riding through and he grabs you and he throws you on the back without even stopping. That real, romantic, action-oriented, no nonsense, protector. It's like everything rolled into one. He is passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. This is also representative of your energy as a fire sign. That of your zodiac, Aries, as well as Leo and Sagittarius, and all those likened to those traits or attributes. But again, it's tied to love. So when I say the masculine's higher self's, feelings with regard to the connection or union as a whole, and when you pull love, it doesn't get much better than that. Overall, we have what? Earth energy on both fronts. The Nine of Earth, enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, and successful self-employment. This is a positive card as it relates to individuals and couples. With regard to pairings, couples, it's about mutual adoration and respect and love and value and deservingness and worthiness and all these kind of wonderful things. And it's paired with nature. This 11, of course, a 9 and 11 together just makes another 11. Which was a 2, which is about partnership. But I'm paying a lot of attention to the nature part here because, again, it does seem like you guys need some sort of break, getaway, I don't know, time. Even if it's not like, okay, we're packing up, we're spending a bunch of money on a vacation. It doesn't have to be like that. But even like just spending some time outside, like a picnic or something like that could probably do you good. What energy the masculine would have the feminine give to the union connection if it were up to him? Like if he could tell her, be like this. It would be the 10 of Earth, just happy, family, secure, stable. You don't need anything. You don't want it. You're completely satisfied and pleased. A very happy family life. Financial security and finding magic in the little things in life. And that is tied with spirituality and these double sevens. Which is interesting because I had noticed that the masculine had a 7 here before. And now they're like crossing. This could be tied to the divinity and, again, the spiritual growth and growth of the relationship, ascension of the relationship, as a whole. All of that, very positive. What energy the masculine himself brings, and it is the Knight of Air, Knight of Swords. Intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. So for one thing, here's this thing about creative, or being creative again. The Knight of Swords is possibly a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. One could be significant to him in this. And in terms of love and relationship, this is a spread on the relationship. Knight of Swords upright is about relationships deepening, getting better, being swept off your feet and all that kind of stuff. So really, really a beautiful energy and card. And it's tied to new beginnings. And more orange. So you guys have the orange for each of you as an individual. And then you've got this card number 1, speaking of individuals, with new beginnings. How awesome is that? And it's paired with the orange too. Orange is sacral chakra. It's intimacy. It's relationships. It's connections. Very nice. What the universe wants to help you guys with. Aww. Page of Cups. Sensitive, kind, open-hearted, and inexperienced. You can expect to kindle a new romantic relationship or a close platonic friendship. Or you may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone or be invited to a social event. This can also be about a deepening of a connection and just things really feeling and being good. If it's tied to a person, it can be significant. It's a character. It's another character, another court card. Again, this is representative of Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And it is tied to a 22, another orange card. All of the cards that relate to you guys as a couple or, or individuals are these orange ones. And I think the numbers, too, are similar. Well, this one's a 5, but this one is an 11. That one was what? A 1. And now we got a 22, which is a 4 or 13 or 11. And it's intuition. So that's what the universe wants to help you with. Again, these water signs are very naturally intuitive too. So he may want to help you to, for your intuition to be stronger than the other thoughts that may be coming into your head. As humans, we have these thoughts that come into our head that are not always very positive, and we can think the wrong thing. It's like the universe wants to help you to trump that with intuitive thoughts that are positive, that are good messages that are coming to you, and saying, no, like the real deal is this, before we get ourselves worked up and start thinking negatively. And the outcome. Justice. It's another orange card for you. And it's Justice, representative of the energy of Libra most directly, and the planet Venus herself, who is currently located in Cancer. Fair and Justice, which is her best placement, by the way, even though that's not one of the signs she rules. It's like her most loving placement. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. And leadership. Leadership. I mean, it's very Aries, leadership. It's very Mars. But I feel like there's something out. Look, there's a stronger message, another message. As it relates to your connection, though, it can be about, your relationship, your type of relationship, your type of love, like being the example, leading by example is what I'm getting there. Let's see what else we get in terms of advice. I've got 2 there. I need an angel tarot card for that one. Okay. So the masculine has an extra card. First from the animal tarot, 8 of Swords. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of self-confidence if you first affirm your freedom. He feels limited in some way or stuck in some way with regard to something. It might be that health thing. And again, there's stuff that you can do for yourself. You're not stuck. You always have the ability to free yourself. Like this bird has the ability to free itself by just simply going out the door. And that's the message it's trying to give you too. For you, feminine, we have 4 of Swords. Like I've been saying, I feel like you need a break. Thoroughly think things through, because it has more than one meaning. Thoroughly think things through before making a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution, but meditation and prayer will bring you the answers you seek. The 4 of Swords can also be about rest, or like planning a vacation, the need for one. Recovering from a situation, like getting your strength back. From the animal tarot to the masculine, we have the 7 of Pentacles. Seeds well planted. A temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry. So again, no need to jump the gun, rush to judgment, thinking that things aren't going well. They are, even if they seem to be unfolding slower than you would have hoped. Knowing that you've taken the steps and the measures that you need to make something happen, so it will. Like when we put seeds in the ground, we can't stand over them and watch, like a watch pot never boils. But we know what happens when we put seeds in the ground and water it, right? They grow. They're going to grow in their time. So that's what's happening here. And for you, 7 of Swords. So you got a 7 also. It's, again, all these 7s. That might be a special number for you guys. Plans that need revision. More going on than meets the eye and poor timing. 7 of Swords is about... I say that it represents for me in my readings the energy of joy stealing. But I always remind my viewers, clients, that we can steal our own joy too. Like if we... And it can be tied to you needing a break. And like not getting it, again, you can steal your own joy and end up missing an opportunity when the universe tells you to sit down. It's like, well, now I'd love to go out. I'd love to have a good time, but today I have to lay down. Like I can't possibly do another thing. It can be like that. Or if we lack confidence, and we're afraid, we lack esteem, and we're afraid to put ourselves out into, or take advantage of an opportunity that comes our way, then we're stealing our own joy potentially, with that too. It can also be about toward other people, things going missing or even being stolen, or distrust with somebody else. But again, paired with this card, and it's another 11 for you too, 7 plus 4. I do think it has to do with you more so than anybody else potentially. And last but not least, that extra card that the masculine got, it's another Queen of Pentacles. She is thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. So it seems like this is another way of saying what I said before. Try to behave like an earth sign if you can. In the near future, this is going to help you. The Queen of Pentacles is most directly a Taurus, but also possibly a Virgo or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And this may be an energy that's strong in your chart too, some sort of earth sign. From the numerology deck to the masculine, we got patience. So it's another like 11 or another 2, maybe patience in your relationship, in your partnership. Maybe because perhaps you're right, and you're the feminine is going through something and may require you to be patient. But on another note, it can be connected to this 7 of Pentacles. Both of these are about being patient and waiting for things to play out, trusting that you've done what you need to do. You've done the right things already in order for them to happen. You've already done the groundwork. And feminine, you got synchronicity. So this is another card that is telling you again to pay very close attention to your intuition, as well as any signs and synchronicities and messages that things. Remember, there are no coincidences, and so these are things that you're being guided to pay attention to because they are messages for you. I hope that you have enjoyed your reading. I appreciate you having me do it for you. Namaste.